The power of invisible force, attracting what you demand. The world you see, the concrete structures of your reality, the bank statements, the limitations of your current environment, these are not the cause of your life. They are the symptoms. They are the stagnant, hardened residue of thoughts you held weeks, months, and years ago. Most people spend their entire lives laboring over these symptoms, trying to polish the chains that bind them, believing that if they just work harder at the effects, the cause will eventually shift. They are wrong. You are not a creature of circumstance. You are a creator of circumstance. There is an invisible force, a silent, pulsing, magnetic current that runs beneath the floorboards of the physical world, and it responds not to what you want, but to who you are at the core of your being. Look at the giants of history. Look at Henry Ford. When he envisioned the V8 engine, his engineers told him it was an impossibility. It could not be cast as a single block. He did not argue with the laws of physics. He simply refused to accept the limitations of their perspective. He demanded the result. He didn't ask for a possibility. He demanded a reality. For months, he walked the floor of his workshop, holding the image in his mind, feeling the weight of the metal, hearing the hum of the machine until the invisible force had no choice but to coalesce into the form of the engine. Ford didn't build the engine with his hands first. He built it with his refusal to accept no as the final word. You are surrounded by this same energy, this same raw material of the universe, waiting for the imprint of a definite, unshakable command. But you cannot demand from a place of desperation. Desperation is a vibration of lack. It is a scream into the void that says, I don't have it. The universe does not hear your words, it feels your frequency. To attract what you demand, you must first become the match for it. This is where the average person falters. They hold a wish, not a demand. A wish is a casual desire that evaporates when the first obstacle appears. A demand is a burning, consuming preoccupation that leaves no room for anything else. Think of Thomas Edison. He didn't just want to light the world. He was haunted by the idea of it. He lived in the state of the fulfilled wish long before the first bulb flickered to life. He failed 10,000 times, but every single failure was merely a discovery of how not to do it, further refining his connection to the invisible force. He didn't view those moments as setbacks. He viewed them as the necessary tuition for the mastery he was demanding. When you stand in the center of your life and you finally decide, truly decide, that your current reality is no longer your final destination, the air around you begins to change. The tension of your resolve acts like a beacon. People often ask, how do I cultivate this kind of conviction? It begins with the audit of your internal dialogue. You are constantly broadcasting a signal. If that signal is cluttered with the static of, I hope, I'll try, or maybe someday, you are effectively canceling your own order. You are sending a mixed signal to the architect of your destiny. You must move into the absolute. In your mind, the goal is not in the future, it is already finished. You walk through your day as if the outcome is inevitable. You do not worry about the how. The how is the business of the universe. The what and the why are yours. When you obsess over the how, you engage the ego and the analytical mind, which are shackled by what has happened in the past. But the invisible force works in the realm of the infinite. It is not limited by what you have seen. It is limited only by what you can perceive as truth. Consider the life of Abraham Lincoln. From the depths of crushing poverty and repeated political defeat, he did not surrender to the narrative of his environment. He held a vision of a unified nation and a free people that existed nowhere outside of his own mind. He was a man who felt the weight of an invisible force pulling him toward a destiny he could not yet see in the physical. He operated from a place of principle, not popularity. He understood that when you align your purpose with a force greater than yourself, you are no longer operating alone. You become a conduit, and that is the secret that the architects of history have always known. The power is not in the man. The power is in the man's surrender to a greater, inevitable vision. You are not fighting for success. You are allowing success to move through you by removing the blockages of fear, doubt, and hesitation. Look at your life right now. Are you operating from fear, or are you operating from a command? If you wake up and your first thought is of the bills you owe or the people who disappointed you, you are living in the past. You are reenacting the script of yesterday. To attract what you demand, you must be the gatekeeper of your own mind. You must be ruthless. If a thought does not serve the vision you are demanding, it is an intruder, and it must be evicted. There is no room for the luxury of a negative thought. It sounds intense, but greatness is not achieved through comfort. Greatness is the byproduct of a mind that has been disciplined into a single-pointed focus. Think of a laser. A light bulb casts light in all directions and it illuminates a room. But a laser concentrates that same energy into a single beam, and it can cut through steel. Your attention is that energy. Where are you pointing it? Are you scattering it across the trivialities of daily conflict, or are you narrowing it down until it burns through the steel of your circumstances? You must stop looking for permission from the world to be great. The world is a mirror. If you walk into that mirror with your head hung low, expecting a rejection, the reflection will provide exactly that. It is a perfect, impartial feedback system. If you want a different reflection, you must change the source. You must stop waiting for the evidence before you believe. The evidence is the last thing to arrive, not the first. This is the greatest test of faith. Can you stand in the middle of your current limitations and declare, with every fiber of your being, that you are the master of your fate? Can you act with the grace and the confidence of the person you intend to become, even when the world tells you that you are foolish? That is not arrogance. That is the necessary prerequisite for transformation. When you demand, you act with a different quality of energy. Your steps are surer. Your words carry more weight. You stop explaining yourself to those who have no vision to see what you see. You stop seeking validation from people who are still anchored in their own scarcity. You understand that your path is unique, and it is not meant to be understood by the masses. The invisible force responds to the audacity of the individual who is willing to stand alone. Look at the pioneers, the innovators, the artists, the leaders who shaped the landscape of our modern era. Every single one of them was, at one point, considered an outcast. They were laughed at, dismissed, or ignored. They were labeled as dreamers, but they kept their eyes fixed on the invisible beacon. They were fueled by a hunger that only their vision could satisfy. And eventually the world, which once pushed back against them, had no choice but to rearrange itself to accommodate their reality. You have that same capacity. It is buried under layers of conditioning, societal expectations, and the false comfort of the safe path. But it is there. It is the core of who you are. It is the part of you that knows, even in your darkest hour, that you were meant for more. Do not apologize for that hunger. Do not dampen that fire to make others feel more comfortable. That hunger is your navigation system. It is the pull of your future self calling you forward. If you ignore it, you will spend your life in the twilight of what if. But if you embrace it, if you take that invisible desire and turn it into a concrete, daily demand, the entire universe will conspire to meet you halfway. It will bring you the people you need, the opportunities you couldn't have planned for, and the insights that will turn your struggle into a strategy. You are at a crossroads right now. You can continue to drift, letting the tides of circumstance dictate your destination. Or you can take the helm. You can decide that from this moment forward, you are no longer a victim of your life, but the deliberate, conscious architect of it. The invisible force is waiting. It is neutral. It does not judge your desires. It simply reflects your intensity. If you demand nothing, you will receive exactly that. But if you demand excellence, if you demand growth, if you demand a life that resonates with your highest purpose, then the walls of your current reality will begin to tremble. They will fall away, piece by piece, because they can no longer contain the power of the vision you are holding. This is not a process that happens overnight, but it is a process that starts today. It starts with the very next thought you hold. It starts with the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you view the obstacles in your path. Do not view them as walls. View them as weights, necessary for the development of your mental strength. Every challenge you face is a training ground for the capacity you will need when you finally reach the summit. You are being prepared for the weight of your own demand. Do not shrink from the process. Lean into it. Be grateful for the intensity, for it is the fire that burns away the impurities of your old identity. You are a manifestation of infinite potential. Every great achievement in human history began as a whisper in the mind of someone who refused to let it die. It started as an invisible, intangible, flickering thought. And it became a mountain, a bridge, a symphony, a company, a movement. It became real because someone had the courage to claim it. Now, it is your turn. Step out of the shadows of your doubt. Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop accepting the crumbs of what life offers, and start demanding the seat at the table that you have earned by the power of your belief. The force is invisible, yes, but its effects are undeniable. Let the world see what you are capable of when you finally stop playing small. Let the world see what happens when a human being decides to command their reality. The wait is over. The moment is now. Demand it, and watch as the world moves to make room for you. You have spent years listening to the chorus of how-to advice, scrolling through the curated lives of others, and waiting for a sign that you are finally ready to begin. But the secret that the successful have guarded for centuries is this: there is no ready, there is only the decision. The invisible force does not respond to your readiness, it responds to your commitment. It does not wait for you to feel confident, because confidence is the result of action, not the prerequisite for it. If you are waiting for the fear to subside, for the path to clear, or for the permission of those around you, you are ensuring your own stagnation. You are trying to negotiate with the laws of success, and you will always lose that negotiation. To demand is to burn the bridges behind you. It is the psychological state of no return. Think of the explorers who crossed oceans and burned their ships upon reaching the shore. They knew that their only option was to conquer or to perish. That is the level of intensity required to shift your reality. Most people live with a plan B. They have an escape route, a safety net, an excuse ready to be deployed the moment things get difficult. But a plan B is a declaration of doubt. It is your subconscious mind admitting that you don't fully believe in the success of your primary mission. When you operate with a plan B, you are never fully present in the labor of your success. You are always half committed, keeping one foot in the comfort zone of your former life. The invisible force demands your full attention. It cannot be fooled by half measures. You must reach a point of absolute non-negotiable resolve. You must reach a point where the discomfort of remaining the same outweighs the discomfort of the change you are trying to make. When you truly demand something, you stop asking if it's possible. You stop looking for validation from your peers. You stop being offended by the skepticism of your friends and family. You understand that their skepticism is not about you, it is a projection of their own limited beliefs. They cannot see what you see, and they have no obligation to. That vision is not theirs to carry. It is yours. You are the sole custodian of your dream. This requires a radical form of independence. You must learn to derive your strength from the inner source, not the outer circumstance. The world will try to pull you back. It will offer you the comfort of the status quo. It will remind you of your past failures, your lack of resources, and the statistical probability of your defeat. You must treat these voices as background noise, static on the radio that you simply tune out. You do not need to fight the noise, you simply need to raise the volume of your own inner command. When you are consumed by a purpose, the world's opinion becomes irrelevant. When you are walking toward a destination that is clear and burning in your mind, you don't have time to argue with those who are standing still. This is the essence of true discipline. It is not about punishing yourself to get things done. It is about a consistent, joyful alignment with the person you are becoming. It is about doing the work not because you have to, but because it is the natural expression of your identity. If you want to be a master, you must adopt the habits of a master. You do not wait to be a success to act like one. You act like a success while you are in the trenches. You treat your daily tasks, no matter how menial, as if they are the foundation of a cathedral, because they are. You are building the house of your future, brick by invisible brick. Every action you take is a vote for the reality you are demanding. Look at your daily routine. Is it designed to support your demand? Are your hours being spent in alignment with your vision, or are they being squandered on the distractions that keep you small? We live in an age of infinite distraction. Your focus is the most valuable currency you possess. The people who control your attention control your reality. If you allow the noise of the world to dictate your focus, you are giving away your power. You are handing the steering wheel of your life to an algorithm, to a headline, to the trivial drama of a society that thrives on your lack of focus. You must become a miser with your attention. You must guard it as you would your life's savings. Only direct your energy toward that which elevates, empowers, or creates. Everything you need to succeed is already within you, but it is currently buried under the rubble of your own hesitation. The potential is infinite, but it remains latent until it is activated by a clear, sustained demand. Think of the diamond. It is essentially compressed carbon. Under the intense, crushing weight of the earth, it transforms from something common into something indestructible and brilliant. Your struggles are your pressure. They are the weight that is currently shaping you. Do not resent the pressure. Embrace it. It is during the times of greatest adversity that you are being forced to refine your focus and strengthen your resolve. You are being pushed into a higher state of being. If you don't break under the pressure, you emerge as something entirely new. The invisible force does not care how long you have been struggling. It does not care about your pedigree, your upbringing, or your past failures. It is entirely indifferent to your history. It is entirely responsive to your state of mind now. You can change the entire trajectory of your life in a single heartbeat. All it takes is the courage to release the old identity. You are attached to your story. The story of who you were, the story of what happened to you, the story of why you couldn't make it. As long as you hold on to that story, you are tethered to the reality it describes. You must be willing to let that story die so that the new reality can be born. You must be willing to be a stranger to your old self. This is the great shedding. You must walk away from the people, the habits, and the thoughts that no longer fit the version of you that is currently in the making. It is a lonely process, and it will feel like a loss. But it is not a loss, it is an upgrade. You are making space for a new capacity to arrive. You are clearing the temple for a new purpose to inhabit. When you make that space, when you finally clear the deck, you will feel the rush of the invisible force filling the void. It will feel like coming home. You will feel a sudden clarity of purpose that you have never known before. You will understand that everything you went through was just the preparation for the work you are about to do. You are not building this life for the applause. You are building it because you have finally realized that your life is a statement. What are you saying with your actions? What are you saying with your silence? When you finally stop apologizing for your ambition, when you finally accept that you have a right to exist at the highest level of your potential, you stop being a beggar and you start being a creator. You start to see the world not as a place of competition, but as a place of infinite expression. There is enough for everyone, but it is reserved for those who are willing to reach out and claim it. It is reserved for the bold. It is reserved for those who have learned the language of the invisible force and have the audacity to speak their truth into existence. Keep your vision steady. When the doubt creeps in, and it will, do not push it away. Acknowledge it as a sign that you are moving into new territory, and then refocus. Pivot back to the command. Refuse to let the doubt become a decision. Doubt is a suggestion, not a fact. You are the commander of your mind. You have the ultimate authority over what you choose to dwell upon. Choose the vision. Choose the outcome. Choose the power. The moment you decide that you are no longer willing to settle, the universe begins its work. The obstacles will not disappear, but your ability to overcome them will expand to match the scale of your demand. And in that expansion, you will find your true power. You will find that you were never limited by the world. You were only limited by the degree to which you allowed yourself to be defined by it. Demand more, and you will become more. There is no other way. Silence that precedes all great breakthroughs. It is the moment when the noise of the world finally dies down and you are left with nothing but the echo of your own intent. Most people fear this silence. They fill it with shallow talk, with constant motion, with the digital hum of 1,000 distractions, because in the silence, they are forced to confront the truth of their own inaction. But for those who are building an empire of the soul, this silence is not a void. It is a workshop. It is where you sharpen your intent until it is as clear and cutting as a diamond. You must learn to sit in that silence and listen to the command of your own ambition. You must learn to hear the blueprint of your future, vibrating beneath the surface of your current mundane reality. You see, the invisible force does not respond to your physical labor alone. If hard work were the only currency of success, the people who work the longest hours in the most grueling conditions would be the wealthiest and most empowered individuals on Earth. But we know this is not the case. Hard work without a directive, without a burning singular command, is merely activity. It is the hamster wheel of the desperate. True power, the kind that moves mountains and builds legacies, comes from the marriage of tireless action and unshakable belief. It is the physical acting out of a spiritual certainty. When you work from this place, your labor is no longer a burden. It is an offering to the vision you have claimed. Think of the men and women who have left their mark on the bedrock of human history. They were not just workers, they were believers. When Michelangelo stood before a massive block of unhewn marble, he did not see a rock. He saw the figure trapped inside, waiting for the chisel to reveal it. He understood that the statue already existed in the invisible realm. His job was simply to chip away the excess. Your life is that block of marble. The reality you desire, the success, the influence, the freedom, is already there, embedded in the potential of your life. The frustration you feel, the obstacles you encounter, the failures that sting, these are simply the pieces of rock that need to be chipped away. Every failure is a piece of excess removed. Every setback is a refinement of your technique. You are not being broken. You are being revealed. Do not be afraid of the removal process. Growth is inherently uncomfortable because it requires the death of the smaller version of you. You cannot carry the baggage of your past into the future of your design. You must be willing to burn your own history, to stop identifying with the narrative of what happened, and start identifying with the narrative of what I am creating. People will call you changed. They will say you aren't the person they used to know. Let them. That is the greatest compliment you can receive. You aren't meant to be the person they knew. You are meant to be the person you have decided to become. You have outgrown their expectations, and that is not your problem, it is their limitation. To attract what you demand, you must master the art of visualization. But this is not daydreaming. This is not the passive act of wishing upon a star. This is the active, deliberate construction of a mental reality. You must feel it. You must smell it. You must hear the sounds of your success. If you want to lead, feel the weight of the responsibility and the thrill of the influence in your marrow. If you want to build, feel the structure rising around you. When you close your eyes, you must enter that reality with such intensity that when you open them, the physical world feels like the illusion, and your vision feels like the only truth. This is how the greats move through the world. They are living in two dimensions at once, the one they are physically in, and the one they are mentally inhabiting. And inevitably, the outer world begins to fold, to bend, to reconfigure itself to align with the dominant frequency of their inner vision. You have been given a gift, and that gift is the ability to choose your focus. Most people have surrendered this gift to the collective anxiety of the world. They wake up and immediately surrender their mind to the news, to their inbox, to the opinions of others. They are essentially renting out their headspace to the highest bidder of noise. You must reclaim that space. Your mind is a holy place, a sanctuary where your destiny is forged. Do not allow the debris of the world to settle there. Every single morning, before you touch a device, before you engage with the demands of others, you must plant the seeds of your own demand. You must remind yourself of who you are, what you are building, and why you are here. There is a law at work here, a law as consistent as gravity. You do not get what you want, you get what you embody. If you walk through the world embodying scarcity, you will attract more reasons to be scarce. If you walk through the world embodying authority, the world will treat you with authority. This is why you must act, speak, and carry yourself with the dignity of your ultimate potential, even when the bank account is low and the accolades are nowhere to be found. The invisible force does not wait for the manifestation to show up. It begins to work the moment your internal state shifts. The outer world is simply the slow-moving echo of your inner reality. If you want to change the echo, you must change the source. Stop looking for the right time. There is no right time. There is only the time you take and turn into your own. History is not written by those who waited for the perfect conditions. It is written by those who stepped into the chaos and commanded order. It is written by those who were willing to be the first, the boldest, and the most persistent,